As you know, Start Strong is a state-mandated assessment that we are asked to conduct in the fall. We always opt to do ours in the beginning of October to let our teachers and students get to know each other and get procedures in place and get the ball rolling before we start testing. It's born out of COVID as a way for schools to identify trends or students who may have suffered a little learning loss or might be in need of some additional TLC or attention. It's given in grades 4 through 10. It's given for math and language arts. And then in high school, Algebra 1, Geometry and Algebra 2, and then Science 6, 9, and 12. Okay, we're going to take you through these slides. The numbers you want to look at, the colors you want to look at is the blue. We want the blue to be low. And those are the students who are in strong need of support. And the first bar chart you'll see on the left is last year, and then the one on the right is 2022 this fall. So we're really across the board. You can see consistency or slight improvement, and that blue section is staying low. There are a few areas where it's a little bit aberrant, and I'll explain why when we get to it. So the first one was ELA and all grades, every grade, every ELA student, and then math, all grades, all students. Okay, a little bit of improvement there. When we get to all the grades in science, again, very, very consistent, slight decrease in the number of students in blue. When we get to fourth grade, English and language arts, okay, that same trend. Our blue section is nice and small with a little bit of growth. Same in fifth for both ELA and language arts, ELA and math, I should say. Same for sixth. I hope I'm not going too fast, but it's very consistent data. Okay, we're seeing a good kind of the spread that we would expect coming off of the summer. In grade 8 math, you'll see there's a little bit of a jump there. I spoke to Kelly Curtis, our math supervisor. In 8th grade math is where you start to see students being grouped a little more by their math ability. So in this test, the highest performing 8th grade students aren't a part of this cohort because they're taking Algebra 1. So that's why there's that slight uptick in the blue section for 8th grade math. In 8th grade ELA, pretty consistent. 10th grade ELA, the same. And then high school math, you get to see those three subjects, Algebra 1, Geometry, Algebra 2. Algebra 2, for high school students, Algebra 2 is brutal. That's always the toughest class we have. When we talk about seniors and juniors who are falling behind and need extra help, it's always Algebra 2 that gets them. We have seniors who are retaking it. It's a tough class. So that being said, the Algebra 2 Start Strong was difficult as well. A lot of the stuff they're testing was from Algebra 1, which they haven't seen in a year. So again, nothing was surprising to us. And then the science scores, which are looks a little bit different than the other grades. I swear, whenever there's a senior-only assessment, they never show too well, you know. And I don't know if it's, you know, they're on the top of the heap or the precipice of college, but senior scores, I think the seniors often misrepresent who they are with them. Maybe, I don't know what it is, call it apathy or senioritis or something. But senioritis in October I don't love, but I think it is still a thing. Next, we break this out into some subgroups. So we have our students with IEPs, and you see a predictable rise in that blue section as these students have specific learning needs. Our ESL students, again, similar breakdown. And then economically disadvantaged students. Okay, so these are kids that are on our radar, kids that we have programs in place for, kids that we're working with, devoting a lot of manpower to. So this performance is as expected. So these slides are actually a lot more interesting for you, and this is the stuff that gets me excited. I'm not the biggest bar graph person. I like talking about solutions and plans. So last year when we enacted this, we looked at this from a big picture and a little picture. In the big picture response, first we initially taught the teachers how to access and interpret these Start Strong results so they could identify the skills-based weaknesses through the test. There's a results by question breakdown so they can see what skills were specifically deficient or things that we did well on. And then using the ESSER funds, we put some programs in place, again, big picture to address these needs. At the elementary level, we have morning math. We have teachers working with students before school to come in and work on these math skills in small group settings. We have our ESL homework club and parent classes, which we've been running for a while. And then our summer programs, extended school year for our special ed kids, and summer step zones for grades 1 through 8, which is a virtual program, which virtual isn't always the best option, but by doing it virtually, we could really open up to a ton of students. And we hit, I think, over 500 kids who logged in there and participated. Summer skills boot camps for at-risk students, and again, that runs throughout the month of July as well. In addition, 2 years ago, we anticipated a greater need for intervention, and we put our first interventionists and coaches into the schools, and we've continued that and actually added to that over years using money from Title III and ESSER funds. So that's the big picture. Small picture, and this is where with teachers working with kids. So we're looking at these tests, and we're looking at students who are in need of strong support. And rather than, we really counsel our administrators, counselors, teachers, not to have a knee-jerk reaction to these Start Strong tests, because again, it's coming on the heels of the summer where kids probably weren't thinking about school and they haven't taken a test in a few months. So if kids fell into that blue category, we noted their names, but we looked at other concerning data points, i.e. their grades, other benchmark assessments, their attendance, whether they spent time in person or in hybrid during COVID, what other supports are in place, do they have a 504, an IEP, have they been referred to INRS already? Is this data completely an outlier? Is there no predictable criteria and all of a sudden they're in this in need of strong support category? If that's the case, what happened over the summer? What's going on with their family, or maybe their friend group changed? So we really wanted to be really personal with that. Once we identify kids who really were in need of that, then we start to do personal interventions. You set them up with tutoring, you let their teachers know, you differentiate in the classroom, you talk to their counselors, you get their parents involved, and after all that goes through, then you look at a referral to INRS, and then potentially CST down the line. But again, Start Strong is something that we are required to do. We try to make it as meaningful as we can, both with the big picture and the little picture, and I hope that was helpful. So any questions?